All right, well, we're going to go ahead and get started here this morning. I just wanted to say hello and welcome everybody to today's webinar on Zero Downtime Dentistry. My name is Josh Knighton. I'm the CIO of Innovative IoT, and I'm thrilled you're here. Whether you're joining us from a single practice or managing multiple locations in your dental practice, we just want to welcome you here and just say we know how critical technology is to keeping your teams efficient and your patients happy. Today's conversation is going to be all about reliability, simplicity, and better patient care, and how the right network setup can protect your practice from costly disruptions. The agenda for today, first off, we'll just take a quick overview of who Innovative IoT is, what we do, who we serve, why we choose to focus in the dental space. Then you heard from the team at Bigleaf Networks about how their platform adds intelligent performance and failover without requiring you to switch ISPs or overhaul your setup. And finally, we'll close with a live Q&A and a walkthrough where you can ask us anything after the walkthrough, technical, strategic, whatever kind of questions you might have. So let's jump right in. I want to introduce you to Innovative IoT, tell you a little bit about us. So at Innovative IoT, we are not a generic IoT company. We were built to support modern dental practices, and we've designed our services with you in mind. We handle everything from network infrastructure to HIPAA compliance to cybersecurity. We offer 24/7 support through a partnership with our MSP, and we'll get into that shortly. Our clients range from local solo dental practices to large DSOs with multiple sites, and we bring the same hands-on proactive approach to each one. And just as an example, last month we onboarded a new customer that had been struggling with some dropped VoIP calls and slow image uploads. And within about a day of the installation, the whole team noticed the difference when we followed up with them. Dental offices tell us all the time, over and over, that they're tired of juggling vendors and troubleshooting during patient hours. Nothing's more stressful than when your stuff doesn't work and you have a patient in the chair. So the push and the push to cloud practice management software introduces a whole new set of challenges. We're well aware of that. Introducing uptime, performance, things like that that you didn't necessarily have to think about, especially when it comes to your internet connection. And that's where we come in. Through a partnership with Two Fish Technology, which I'm the CEO of, and that's our MSP, our sister company. We offer everything a DSO needs, including the Bigleaf products as well, which is what we're going to talk about today. We offer a single point of contact for everything from performance to compliance, and we're laser focused on making sure your technology is invisible. That just means when your network just works, your team can focus on patient care and not putting out fires or making sure things are working, which is extremely important to your bottom line. We see ourselves as a strategic partner, not just a vendor. It sounds kind of cheesy, but we really do believe it. When your tech works right, it's not just not just good for operations, but it builds trust with your patients as well. And we know that's what's ultimately important to you as a dental practice owner or a dentist yourself. So that's it for Innovative IoT. I'm actually going to hand it off now to Chris and Brad from Bigleaf. They'll walk you through how the platform works and show you how it fits into a real world dental environment. So Chris, take it away.
Thank you very much, Josh. Happy to see everybody here. My name is Chris Newton from Bigleaf Networks. I am your channel account manager here that helps Innovative IoT and Two Fish go to market. And I'm also supported by the man in green right there, Brad Evans, who's my SE that keeps me honest and keeps everything on par when it comes to the technology and who we are and what we do. So won't PowerPoint you to death. We'll definitely get into the demo here shortly, but I need to take over control. Ta-da. All right. So I'm very excited to show you how we're helping dental practices eliminate downtime, deliver smoother patient experience. We already touched on that a little bit, and this is the key point. It's without changing ISPs or really overhauling anything on your network. Bigleaf is purpose-built for modern dental practices. We simplify and actually enhance the internet connectivity to ensure very smooth operations and better patient care and employee satisfaction. What we're most proud of is we deliver 99% uptime across single site or multiple locations. And something we're very proud of is our 101% net revenue retention, which in essence, it's proof that our solution drives real business impact organizations. So we not only retain our customers, but as they grow revenue from them, they expand the Bigleaf platform and services. They get additional services. We're also very proud that we have very low churn rate. Most times people put these in and they very rarely get pulled out because they just work. They just speaks to the reliability and the value of the platform. Installation super easy, takes less than 30 minutes, doesn't require any change of the ISP or any heavy lifting whatsoever. So candidly, whether you're a solo practice or a multi-site DSO, the Bigleaf product and solution is key to keeping your cloud-based dental apps such as Dentrix, Open Dental, Eaglesoft, all running smoothly even during outages. In fact, it even enhances it. So with that said, we're going to dive into how our platform works and why it's really become a go-to solution for dental practices nationwide. All right. So one of my favorite slides here is this little image, because Bigleaf, SD-WAN is a word that's thrown out there a lot. Bigleaf is more of a hybrid WAN architecture. It intelligently manages multiple interconnect connections. So whether you are a large headquarters organization, a small branch, a remote site, or even a temporary location, you're out there on the left. Then there's your firewall that's right there on the right-hand side of it. Our device, Bigleaf right there, actually is like a smart traffic controller for your network. It manages multiple internet connections, whether it's going to be 5G, wireless network for failover, fiber connections, coax, or even a low Earth orbit satellite. Starlink's another good example. And so what we can do is take that smart traffic and automatic steer data to the best available path. But on top of that, if there is an outage, we automatically switch from one to the other, meaning there's uninterrupted voice over IP calls, image uploads, patient check-ins. You never even know the connection fails. And we do that in a really unique way. Some of the benefits this offers is it optimizes the connectivity across all your locations. And this is all done by our cloud access network as well. I just actually breezed over that. What that allows us to do is we have our own cloud access with 9 points of presence, and we're directly peered with really large organizations like Amazon Web, Azure, Google, just enhancing the connectivity to all the different cloud applications. So we automatically prioritize route traffic for real-time performance. And it's just super simple to use. Brad will actually show you that here in just a second. All right, next slide. So Bigleaf's built-in, long day. Bigleaf's built-in advantages here. What this means to you is it's directly into your operational win for dental teams. All right. You get seamless failover. And how we do that's pretty unique. So whether Internet A fails over to Internet B, we provide a same IP, meaning there's no session drops. So even if we lost internet connectivity on this webinar or on a phone call, nobody knows it. You don't have to log back in. It automatically switches. But on top of that, our application aware QoS, no matter how many circuits you have out of that for, we proactively look at them 10 times a second for a lot of different type of things such as jitter, latency loss. It means there's less interruptions, faster path, clearer calls, and things that just work. The backups work, your imaging works. It's very, very easy to use, and it enhances your employee satisfaction. If you're a large organization that's got multiple sites, you're going to benefit from consistent performance across every location. And again, that goes into the 99% uptime and the 101% net revenue retention that we're really, really proud of here. So with that said, I'm going to transition over to see how the partnership between Bigleaf and Innovative kind of works together. Oh, no, I'm not. Talking about the zero downtime. Sorry. So together, Bigleaf and Innovative IoT deliver seamless always-on connectivity for dental offices using these cloud-based tools. Our intelligent network strategy prioritizes the critical applications. It ensures automatic failover, meaning there's no ISP switch. And the partnership we have with Innovative IoT, it's really improving the patient experience, employee experience, and protects your practice revenue. It makes the setup for it very, very easy, and just it's hassle-free to manage. It's a true plug-and-play solution that maximizes your uptime and reliability. Moving on, let's talk about what happens when, so this is really key here. The practices that don't have Bigleaf, the problem they have, and we hear about this all the time, is if and when the internet goes down, they don't have any failover whatsoever. Phones don't answer if they're in the cloud. The imaging system, if it's in the cloud, the uploads pause. Patient check-ins can freeze. There's tons of employee frustration associated with that because they're managing people going in and out and trying to process all the patients through their day-to-day operations. This causes frustration, lost time, canceled appointments, but more importantly, lost revenue. And this happens quite a bit because most practices truly rely on a single internet connection, risking it all operations across, say, a single coax or a single fiber. If you had Bigleaf on top of that via Innovative IoT, we fix that problem 100%. Not only do we provide multiple paths of connectivity, even a wireless failover solution that either we can provide or you guys can source through Innovative IoT via another 5G chip or source. We provide a public IP address, and it keeps the network up in place. There's no rebooting, there's no login. In fact, you don't even know Bigleaf is there sometimes, and you don't even know if the network switched from one to the other. Your phones stay up. Your ERP that you guys are heavily invested in stays up and operational. The imaging tools stay prioritized, meaning that the imaging files are going to come down much faster than something else that's not a prioritized traffic, such as email or things like that, even if and when bandwidth will dip, because we can balance that across multiple channels that are going into the solution itself. It's super easy to deploy on any ISP, just like I said earlier, across fiber, cable, LTE wireless, or even Starlink. And with that, I'm actually going to transition here over to Brad here for a second, who's going to show the Bigleaf in action live, and tail into that, we'll go into some Q&A.
Perfect. Okay, thank you. So Chris, hand off to Brad. Okay, so let me see here. I want to share my screen here. I'm taking control. I'm having a little bit of a technical problem here. Where is the ability to share my live screen? I'm not seeing that here.
Right-hand side next to the yellow button that says end event.
Okay, there. Yep, thank you. Okay. I was looking the opposite side of the screen. Okay. All right.
There's our friendly dashboard.
So before I draw your attention over to the dashboard, let's take a look at what's over my shoulder. I'm going to take you back to a couple slides ago when Chris was showing you that very simple illustration in the PowerPoint. This is what it looks like when it's implemented into your network, okay? Step by step. I have three forms of internet access here in my office. Form 1, Xfinity Comcast, coax. Generally deliverable anywhere in the United States, not necessarily coax. It could be Frontier. It could be, insert coax provider here. I have two more sources of internet access. I have a AT&T 5G up there on top of the rack, and I also have a Verizon Wireless 4G there on top of the rack. All three of those access circuits are then aggregated and plugged into the rear end of my Bigleaf router, and together the Bigleaf router and the Bigleaf network is providing the public-facing IP address to my on-prem firewall, as you see right here, my MikroTik. So the beauty of that then is that regardless of what circuit or circuits are up or down, as long as a circuit is up, then we are delivering the public-facing IP address for that contiguous, non-uninterrupted session integrity. And then what my firewall does then to my network backbone, my DHCP, and then feeding a private scope to my switched Ethernet backbone. So that's what it looks like then implemented in real time. Now I'm going to draw your attention back to the screen that I'm sharing here for the dashboard, because now the second part of that is to really see specifically what does over my shoulder mean and what does it look like on screen, and what type of tools and capabilities do I have to be able to view and glean from in real time. So at a glance, I see a lot of green. Green is good. I'm having a really good day. Site is healthy. I have 3 green active circuits. I have a green router. It's good. If it were other than that, yellow means there's something going on, a problem is occurring, not completely down. Or if there's a red X, then of course that would be the worst case scenario is that something is down. It could be a router, it could be a circuit, something of that nature. And then as you scroll down the screen here, now we get an opportunity to kind of dig in much, much deeper, circuit by circuit, to see what circuit is carrying payload and what type of payload. So it's a very important aspect to be able to do some troubleshooting, and specifically for circuit integrity. Then I'm going to get into in much more granular detail even yet. So we can see here on my traffic insights, I can take a look at it from a various perspectives. I'm going to go last month. I'm going to apply that metric. Then we'll see here last month that while the data is getting caught up specifically for the application sessions, we can see here 3.6 million sessions over the last month were carried across the network. And then color coded. So when I hover over, it will tell you specifically what data points we can look at. If I wanted to take a look at just what happened on WAN 1, so of that 3.6 million sessions general, WAN 1 carried 1.6, and then the remainder on WAN 2 and 3. Same thing with the types of data transferred. Generally speaking, 1.64 terabits worth of data, all color coded into different types of data. If I wanted to see specifically what WAN 2 carried, then I can specifically hone in just on that. So we see 49.59 gigabit of that total number was transported by WAN 2. Then, you always want to see, well, how much access circuit am I actually using? So generally speaking, with all 3 circuits aggregated, less than 40%, in most cases, less than 20%, in a lot of cases, less than 10%. I'm spreading the wealth across 3 different types of circuits. If I wanted to take a look at each circuit individually, I can do that. So you can see here what type of bandwidth usage WAN 1, 2, and 3. And then average latency, because we know that as your latency numbers rise, the network becomes less reliable. So you get a chance to see that. And then last but not least, the ability to see what type of real-time entities were we rearranging in real time to make sure that we're truly classifying the high prioritized services the way they need to be. Now, in my humble opinion, the type of data we glean off of here is what really sells the service. Internet can be flaky at best, even on the best of days. Weather depending, heat, snow, ice, you name it, all of those form factors can affect how your internet access performs, whether it be wired or wireless. Now we get a chance to see specifically provider by provider, how well are they performing, or better yet, how well are they not performing? Let's take a look. I'm going to go take a look specifically at my WAN 1, my coax service. I'm going to go take a look at it for the last month, apply that metric, and then we'll see here. After the data gets read back into the chart, I'm really not using a whole lot of this access circuit as is, but that's okay, because I'm spreading all that data out across 3 different types of circuits. And then we wanted to see here the capacity of my 350 megabit available. It did take a small dip, but it's been fairly flat. Now look at this, the errors and the alarms. This is one of the most interesting ones. So we get to see specifically how healthy is your circuit. The running joke we always say is that unlike an EKG machine, flatline is good. Flatline at 0 means you have a completely healthy circuit. Every time we see a spike, and then we can divide it up into severity. A 7 to 7 severity, meaning it's a hard down. You can see here I've had multiple spikes of 7 to 7, but for the most part, I've been flatlined, which is good. But my 7 to 7, it's my fault. I plug and unplug things and constantly change things around here because this is a demo lab. Now, if I were to take that same kind of statistical data, apply last month's metrics to my wireless circuits, then we'll see, specifically speaking, if I unselect WAN 1, go to WAN 2, which is going to be my AT&T, my Verizon Wireless, you can see here I'm using less of it, but then you see here, this is a much dirtier circuit because it's the nature of the beast, as we call it, the wireless circuit. And it'll, It'll be used when it needs to because it might be the only thing available, or we can be very, very specific and push types of traffic to it or away from it. So that's the very short version of the demonstration and what I can see live and in real time. But I also have the ability to see multiple locations. Let's say I'm a multi-location dental practice. And in this particular case, BRAD MSP is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 site business. And as you can see down the panel here, they're in multiple phases of up, down, and error status, and so on and so forth. Right now, the BLR 108 site, it's been completely shut down. It's one of my test sites. So you see a red X. The 112 and the 400, those are live sites, green, that's good. I have a site here in yellow, meaning that if I were to click on it, I can quickly see, well, why is it yellowed? Okay, well, just based on how I know these sites read, my WAN for T-Mobile, it's not quite completely up to par, so it is reporting a slight error there. Then I have 2 new sites here in purple that have not yet been turned up, so I can see in real time not only the site that I'm working on and the site that's relevant over my shoulder, but what's going on in real time down the side panel. And then if I have any interest to see specifically what's going on, I can hone in on those. But the web dashboard isn't necessarily something you need to take a look at day in and day out and stare at it. The system is smart enough to send you an email when an error does occur. You get an email, it'll tell you specifically what it is. Then that would be your cue then to go ahead and log in to gather more details. And whether it's Innovative IoT that you're calling to say, hey, an error popped up, could you help with it? Can you take a look at it? But also knowing what Innovative IoT does for you on your behalf, they're getting those exact same messages and they're going to be on it before you are, which is best case scenario. They're looking out for you. They're looking out for your needs. With that, I will stop sharing my screen now that I found out where the button's at. And then, Josh, I believe this goes back to you.
You're muted, Josh.
Awesome. Thanks. It's always helpful. Yeah, so I'm going to find our presentation here real quick. Sorry. I have no idea where I went. That's awesome. Cool. Well, we've got some time for some Q&A. We will just leave it to that. Let me get this guy fired back up again real quick. And awesome. All right. So we've got a little time for some Q&A here. So let me get into that really fast. All right. So first question, and I'll take this one, and as we keep going, I'll hand it off to whoever we need to. But first question: what makes Innovative IoT different from other IT providers, especially in the dental space? I guess a good question would be a good answer would be we specialize in dental technology workflows. So we're more interested in just your practice workflow, how you see patients, what the front office does, what the back office does, things like that. And then we're also really familiar with dental offices as well. So we can kind of, just from experience with other practices, we kind of know how like your imaging is set up or your practice management studio is set up. We're really familiar with all of the different providers. So Eaglesoft, Dentrix, and all those things. We're great with those. So we have a great understanding of all those things. So our solutions are really tailored for imaging, those cloud platforms or on-prem, VoIP or VoIP, your phone traffic and performance. We're really concerned with those things. So we combine our understanding of network security, and then we have that 24/7 support kind of under one roof. And so we just give practices kind of a single trusted partner for all of your needs. So that would be first one. Next question. Do I have to replace my current IT setup to work with you? And I'll let one of you guys take that one if you want to.
All right, I'll go ahead and take that on. So the short answer is no. We sit outside of the incumbent network. So for all practical purposes, an IT admin really only has to address the firewall. The firewall is the edge of your WAN and the edge of your LAN. I sit even beyond that. To an IT admin that manages a network firewall, I look like pure and simple internet access with a public-facing IP address block. So for all practical purposes, the fairly easy answer upfront is for a firewall admin to put a new IP address on the WAN interface of a incumbent firewall, and then boom, you're up and running. But there could also be an opportunity if multiple public-facing IP addresses are required, that the admin would have to administer the public-facing IP addresses to those entities on the network. And as stated before, we Bigleaf are providing the public-facing IP addresses. So, kind of going back to that one and all, when or if multiple circuits are flapping in the wind, as long as one of those circuits is live, we're still providing the persistence of that public-facing IP address and or block. So, we're maintaining that session integrity across to your local area.
Yes, sir. Yeah, and speaking as the network admin, firewall admin, I will say it's much easier in the long run to go with the solution because you don't have to change anything. You set it up once, and that's pretty much it. So, because that public static IP address is coming from Bigleaf itself, you don't have to make those switches. So this actually makes it where you don't have to change your current setup as often, which is also very, very cool. So that's a great answer, Brad. Thank you. Next one, can you support multi-location dental groups or DSOs? I'll let one of you guys take that one too, if you want.
So I can grab that one. That's an easy answer. Absolutely. Multi-sites are one of our strengths. We can standardize your network performance across pretty much all the locations, meaning every location's got a real consistent experience for all the patients and employees, no matter where they're located. So it's an easy dashboard. You can always see what's going on. It actually also helps solve a problem. Brad, you might help me out on this. Of instead of just throwing bandwidth at a solution across a multi-location organization, you're putting a device and a solution in place that intelligently enhances the solution. So typically you don't need as much bandwidth to support it, right, Brad?
Yeah, that's correct. I was going to say, Chris, you're doing well on your own because a very well-known fact in the world of internet access practice is that if you call your current ISP and say, "I'm having bad internet," they're going to try to throw more bandwidth at you.
Yep.
You don't need more bandwidth. You need cleaner bandwidth. You need better optimized access. That's what we're about, is making sure that you get the best use of what you already have. And quite frequently,
yeah, and typically, sorry, go ahead.
We're being able to prove with the dashboard statistics that you can do a lot more with a lot less.
Yeah, and that's the point I was going to get to. Typically, because this solution does have a cost associated with it, which it's totally worth the benefit, of course. But typically, what we see is if you are stuck with that one single solution or one single internet connection that you were talking about earlier, Brad and Chris, we can actually help you offset. As Innovative IoT, offset some of that cost of bringing on the Bigleaf by bringing in two smaller, less expensive circuits, to your point, Brad, because you can do much more with less with the Bigleaf solution. So it actually helps kind of manage the cost as well, and then you get the benefit of having multiple connections. So yeah, it's a great solution. We absolutely love selling it. So
and to dovetail off that too, Brad mentioned a great point. If you have a internet problem and you call your carrier, they're going to try to throw more bandwidth at you. Well, a lot of the internet carriers out there today are not just asking to throw more bandwidth at you to solve it, but they will say, hey, you're worried about downtime? Why don't you deploy one of our little wireless solutions out there as well? So they claim that their wireless solution is what? Failover.
yeah.
Well, how come that doesn't work, Josh? I mean, if you've got internet A and internet B, and I'm not going to name any names here, but it's coax A here and then wireless B here. If the coax fails and it fails over to their wireless, what do they have to do?
you have a drop, or sometimes you even have to go and physically unplug the cable
Right.
to your firewall and then plug it into the other one. So yeah,
Change
And then most,
IP
it's a pain.
addresses. It's a
yeah, and
Yeah.
catastrophe all around.
then when it
Mhm.
fails back over, it's all the same thing back and forth, and dentist offices can't have that. Our solutions fix that problem. That's a key
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. It
I run into
takes,
that a lot.
and yeah, and it is typically when your internet goes down, right? You know, you have to do that whole rigmarole every time, and it causes increased downtime. Whereas with the Big Leaf, it's completely seamless, and
You don't
you know,
even
to
know.
your presentation point, like you don't even know when it happens. We end up calling our customer and saying, "Hey, did you know that this circuit's down?" And they'll say, "No, I had no idea." So, yeah, that's a great point. So,
Yep.
all right. So next question: what's your typical deployment time? I can actually kind of jump on that one if you want me to, and you guys can jump in, of course.
Yeah, absolutely.
For most practices, most offices that we put that in, we can pre-configure the equipment, which takes the deployment time way down. And then our time on site is typically under an hour. Most of the time, it's around 30 minutes to just plug and play this. And if we are your MSP, so we're managing your firewall for you, makes it even faster because we don't have to deal with anybody else, and we can just make the appropriate changes on the firewall and move on. So it's a pretty quick and seamless deployment time. So all right, next question, and I'll let you guys jump on this one if you want. How do you ensure HIPAA compliance?
Yeah, so I'll take that
Ooh.
on, and I'm going to take on part of this question. It's a multi-layered question with a multi-layered answer. I'm going to be very careful not to just simply throw a blanket across this whole scenario, because HIPAA compliancy is live in certain areas of the network and it's not live in other areas. So from a pure Big Leaf perspective, I don't have to be HIPAA compliant because I am classified under the conduit rule. In other words, I am viewed as an internet access provider, and I don't store customer data. If I stored customer data, then I have to protect it. If it's protected, then it has to fall under HIPAA or PCI and some of the other compliance rules that we all may have heard across the industry. Because I don't have a storage container, I don't have to protect anything. I'm simply passing data through under the conduit rule. Where the compliancy comes into play is specifically where the security device lives, i.e. the firewall, and other entities that truly bridge between WAN to LAN. That's then specifically where security comes into play, where compliancy has to be upheld at. And I'll let Josh kind of elaborate a little bit more onto that.
Yeah, and a lot of the HIPAA compliancy has to do with data in transit and at rest. And of course, you know, we're not dealing with any of the at rest data as far as this product goes or the solution goes. But as far as the in transit stuff, we do implement, and you can implement internal controls over, uh, gosh, I'm having a brain fart. Sorry. Over your oh my gosh, just over the security around that data in transit. So, and the Big Leaf actually lets all of that traffic pass just fine. It doesn't actually get in the way of anything like that. So if you have a VPN or you have any other form of security on your data, then data encryption. That was the word I was looking for. My goodness, it's been a long day, like you said earlier,
Yeah.
Chris.
Yes, it has.
Yeah. So yeah, this solution actually lets your encryption just go through. And the coolest part is because we can prioritize specific traffic, it actually makes your data in transit, encrypted or not, which it should be encrypted. It just helps it flow better. So anyway, I hope that answers that question. So I think that's it for the question and answer sessions. You guys have anything else you want to add before we close this thing out?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay. Well, I've got our contact info up here. And from Innovative IoT and from Big Leaf, we just want to say thank you so much for attending. If you'd like more information, or if you want a personalized quote from us, here's our contact info. Please feel free to reach out anytime. And we hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks for joining.
Absolutely. Thank you.